What's happening? Because you know it's your boy B High Radio shouting. Hey man, as always, I got a friend and family member to the show off in this thing, Tariq Nasheed. What's good with it, boss?
Good, B High, man. Always a pleasure to be here with you.
Same thing here, man. But I mean, I was on Instagram, Tariq, before you even got here. I seen you was already doing some research on another film in this thing. Well, actually for the museum. You was over there at the KKK store.
Man. Man, you know, as everybody knows, we got a museum in L.A.
That's right.
We're doing the curating for it, and I'm going around the country, going to different antique shops, getting vintage memorabilia.
Yeah.
And I'm down here. I'm taking care of some other business, but I'm also looking at different antique shops down here. And let me remind everybody, Atlanta is different from Georgia.
Yeah.
All right. Once you get out of Atlanta, it's in a whole different world. The rest of Georgia is not like Atlanta.
Yeah.
You go around certain parts of the suburbs of Atlanta, and you are in Klan country for real, and you know this.
Yeah.
Brother, we went to a shop up there in Kennesaw, man.
Yeah.
It's a store up there, an antique store. It's a Klan store. They try to promote it as a Civil War store. They got Klan robes in there. They got KKK memorabilia in there. They got Confederate flags all over the place. They got dolls with the N-word. I mean, selling it openly in the middle of a populated town.
Exactly.
I'm like, okay. So this is why we need to get stuff like this out here, information like this out here, to let people know that white supremacy and racism is a very real thing, and some places are just openly practicing it.
I mean, November 5th, you made history, though, with the reparations rally,
Yes,
man.
indeed.
Talk to me. What was that like, getting everybody together?
People are still surprised, like, how did y'all do that so fast? Man, we got thousands of people galvanized to come out to Washington, D.C. November 5th. We only had a few weeks to organize it, man, and just thousands of people came. We had great, phenomenal speakers talking about the importance of reparations. We beat the drum and we kept that narrative going. And in California, where I live, they're now talking dollar signs about what we need to get as reparations. They're saying that we need to get around $233,000 per black person in California. And as we know, what happens in California usually trickles around to the rest of the country. So we're making good strides with the reparations conversation because we never let up off of it.
What was it like for you getting your own march on Washington going on, though, man?
Yeah, man, you know what? I wanted to do it because we kept telling people what our agenda was, what we wanted as foundational black Americans. We didn't want all of these minority coalition proclamations. We didn't want all of these people of color proclamations. We didn't want none of these sexual agenda proclamations. We were very specific about us getting tangible specifically for our group because it's overdue right now.
Exactly.
So I said, hey, it's going to be now or never. I put the march together. Everybody came through, showed up, showed out, and it became a historic moment, man.
Okay, speaking of Cali, you know, I saw online where San Francisco were coming with the murderous robots in this thing.
Man, you know, I've been telling people for years because the dominant society, their numbers are dwindling.
That's right.
All right? So what they want to do, man, they want to create an apartheid state. And they know they can't do what they did in South Africa, where the small white supremacist minority can control all of those people.
Yeah.
They can't do that here because we're about the business at the end of the day. So they're going to need some kind of reinforcement. They tried with immigrant groups. That's not going to work. So they're going iRobot, man. They're getting these robots, and they're programming these robots to get at us. They're going to be attacking us. Let's be very clear. So we got to be ready for that type of thing popping.
And that's my whole thing. I mean, why do we need robots that can kill people out here? We already have enough trouble with each other trying not to kill each other.
Yeah.
Now you got robots. Now we're running from the robots too?
Yeah. See, what they want to do, if they have a malfunction, nobody's gonna get punished. You know, you see what I'm saying? And sure enough, there's gonna be some malfunctions. Now they've already killed a person with the robot. That was Michael Johnson over in Dallas.
Damn.
They always do these experiments with us, just like in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
They plan on bombing Tulsa. Many people, when we look back at what happened, they were planning on undermining the Black Wall Street because they were becoming too powerful. They were about to do international business, and whenever we start making big money moves like that, they're going to do something to undermine it. That's why when the riots broke out, they immediately went to the planes. They knew where to get the planes, they knew where to get the dynamite to bomb that place. So they do these experiments on us, and then they start testing them out overseas.
That's crazy. Now, in other news, Deion Sanders, he's leaving Jackson State and heading over there to Colorado in this thing, man. I mean, he's catching a lot of flack from the fans at Jackson State, too, right now. What are your thoughts on that,
My
Tariq?
thoughts is, listen, man, I rock with Deion. Deion did what he was supposed to do with Jackson, man. He did the right thing. He made Jackson hot. He put them on the map. They should have papered him up. You know what I'm saying?
If you want him to stay.
If you want him to stay, he did all of that. He turned the team around. He made HBCUs hot. They should have did everything in their power to paper Deion up. We have this thing, man, as black folks, we wait on white folks to come in with the money. You dig? And we expect, well, he got money, so he's good. And Deion was donating his salary to the school.
Half of it.
Half of it. We can't do business like that. We should have been making sure that Deion was the most paid, highly paid coach out there. The stuff that he was doing, Jackson State should have been making endorsement deals. They should have been doing merchandising deals. They should have been bringing in more sponsors on their own. Deion was bringing in sponsors from what I understand. I mean, damn, the man can't do it all. So at the end of the day, he's like, hey, you know, I did what I had to do. Let me go make sure that I'm good over here. My son is good. Let me make sure my legacy is good. And let me make sure the paper is back where it's supposed to be.
How do you feel about our people and how we react to these things, though, too? Because, you know, folks, they wanted to keep Deion down there.
But we got this thing where we pay for what we want, but beg for what we need. We needed Deion there, and when we need somebody there to set a precedent, we need to paper them up. We need to make sure their money is good. See, we make sure the strip club's money is good. You know, we make sure the weed man's money is good. We make sure the Balenciaga man money is good. But when it comes to somebody who's really making a historic difference, well, he got it. No. Make sure he has it and make sure he's going to keep it. We have to paper each other up when we're doing the right thing, man. That's an us thing. That's on us. Can't get mad at Deion.
I feel that. I mean, Ye, formerly known as Kanye. I mean, he's going through a lot of stuff right now. Loss of billions of dollars. You know, people are mad at him right now because he said he liked the Nazis and he don't feel like nothing was wrong with Hitler. And I mean, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on right now. People are saying that he's crazy. Some people are saying that he's a true fighter. What are your thoughts on the whole Ye experience right now?
I can't rock with what Ye is doing. That's indefensible. Like Kyrie, I can defend Kyrie. Kyrie didn't do a damn thing wrong. But Kanye is doubling down on the BS. He's saying all this reckless stuff, and then you turn around and you hang with these white nationalists. That's the thing I really can't co-sign. And these are some dangerous cats that he's hanging with. So Kanye is all over the place. He's shooting himself in the foot. And a lot of that has to do with success guilt. A lot of people, we have success guilt because we're so used to poverty, and we've been told that we're supposed to be the muse of society and we're supposed to be struggling all the time. When we get a bag and when we make it, we start doing things to sabotage ourselves. And that's what Kanye is doing. That's success guilt, and we got to start getting over that nonsense. We're supposed to be successful, and we're supposed to hold our success and then trickle it down to the next generation.
Do you think Kanye will be able to come back from what's going on right now?
It's going to be hard to come back. I mean, you've never seen anybody lose billions of dollars within a matter of days. You dig?
Facts.
Because they want Kanye to fail. And Kanye is giving them the rope to hang him with. See, that's the bad thing. And he's undermining black society. So he doesn't have a base because he did all of that talking about George Floyd, and then he's hanging around with Candace Owens, who hates black society. So it's hard for anybody to really defend the dude. You know? So he really has no base, and he thinks that those right-wingers are going to be his base. Notice none of these people are defending Kanye. None of the right-wingers are saying, hey, leave him alone. He's no. None of these people are defending him. They don't know him, and they're just using his notoriety to bring their own profile up, but they're not really defending him. You know? So Kanye, he's shooting himself in the foot.
Now, what about Kyrie then?
Kyrie is going to be good. Because he, number one, didn't do anything wrong. And what they were doing with Kyrie, they were trying to make an example out of Kyrie. Because Kyrie wasn't taking the jab. You dig? And I don't like talking about that too much.
I've been there. I've been there and done that with the jab.
Kyrie stood up on his square and said, I ain't going to do it. You want to suspend me? Cool. But I ain't going to do it. They don't like black men standing up like that because that becomes contagious. That makes other black men want to stand up. So what they want to do, they want to bring him back because now they're giving people back pay for suspending them from their jobs.
And firing them.
You dig? So Kyrie was right. But they're like, we ain't gonna let a nigga be right over us. So we're gonna spank him for something else. So that's what this is about. That's why they're making a big deal out of something that he didn't really do. He didn't say anything anti-Semitic. So they're overdoing it as a way of punishing him for the other stuff.
And what do you think about the people from Amazon coming out and saying that, you know what, this documentary is not going anywhere. We're going to keep on selling this thing.
And notice, none of these groups are mad at Amazon. The people who's making money off the damn film, who's promoting it and selling it and actually capitalizing off of the notoriety are the people at Amazon, and nobody's outraged over Amazon. They're mad at Kyrie for sharing a link to Amazon. So this is all racial.
Then the picture of Jerry Jones pops up out of nowhere.
Yeah, and then they act like, well, that was years ago, so they start explaining.
And he didn't have a frown on his face in the picture, so it ain't as bad.
He was just standing there. No, stop it. They were abusing black people trying to get into school, and Jerry Jones's ass was right there. Now they're doing it was so long ago. You never notice when other groups are aggrieved, it's never so long ago. They don't play that. They're bringing in those people who were around Nazi Germany. They're 110 years old, and they're bringing them to court with their wheelchairs and their walkers. Like, well, that was so long ago. Well, you're going to be in jail so long ago.
Exactly. Come on down.
Yeah. So everybody's going to have to be treated equally here.
Now, what about LeBron? Because at first, he kind of distanced himself from what Kyrie was doing, but then at the end, he had to come on back in and say, you know what, y'all, this is a double standard going on right now.
Because notice everybody started kind of circling back because they saw the black masses were not going along with the coon train, because a lot of these folks on ESPN were buck dancing and bucking their eyes at first, and then they saw the masses like, hey, no, that ain't it. We're standing with Kyrie.
Yeah.
Those brothers in New York circled the stadium.
Building, Barclays.
Yeah. The optics of that was kind of scary.
Come on.
At our rally in Washington, D.C., the crowd was yelling Kyrie, Kyrie. The crowd was supporting Kyrie. So the streets were rocking with Kyrie.
Yeah.
So having Kyrie backed up like that with a strong base in the streets rocking with him, they don't want them problems like that. So now some of the black athletes who were kind of against him at first, they want to be on the right side of history.
Exactly.
Because this man did the right thing, and Kyrie is going to be on the right side of history. So now they want to be on the right side of history too.
As somebody that has a strong grassroots movement and actually has the people behind him and supporting him, how important do you think that is to be able to have the people, just like with Kyrie, you would see people at the Barclays marching around, the mainstream, just regular common Joe out here in the street was like, you know what, I'm with Kyrie. However, your industry folks on the coon train, they weren't going for it, but then they started to lose privileges like being able to come to the cookout. Man.
Yeah, exactly. Because see, they understand, like the Stephen A. Smiths and the Barclays and all of these people, they understand that they have to tread lightly with the dominant society. They have to buck dance because they have no street cred. The grassroots aren't rocking with them.
Yeah.
So these guys are a comment away from being fired and their whole career is ruined. So the thing is, when you become a Sambo, when you step out there, that's a very dangerous line to toe.
Yeah.
Because you don't have any real backup, and then they bring you out here and smack you around like a child. I've seen Stephen A. Smith. They brought him on TV and they made him apologize for certain things that he said about white people or some of his colleagues. But he gets real bold and buck when it comes to black folks. Oh, I'm about to tell you black something. It's that type of vibe. But they sit there and humiliate you on national television.
Yeah.
Kyrie, shout out to him, he wouldn't allow himself to be humiliated. They gave him that list of things that he needed to do to get back in the league. He was like, nah, I ain't doing all that.
Come on now.
And he still has the back of the people, so that's good.
What do you think it takes to get everybody on code in this thing, Tariq?
It takes us understanding that we have to move as a group when we're dealing with the dominant society, because they try to punish you as a group. It wasn't just one group trying to punish Kyrie. It was the dominant society as a whole trying to get at him. The dominant society as a whole is trying to get at Kanye, not just one sector. They work and operate as a group, and we have to start working and operating as a group for our best interests.
How do you feel about the atmosphere in the country right now? Because just think about it. Take it back to, your original Hidden Colors films and stuff like that. This wasn't no popular thing out here to read. But now it seems like everybody's getting with the program and starting to at least recognize what's going on in the country and in the culture and stuff like that. How do you feel about seeing that shift?
It was good because we started the Hidden Colors series and nothing like that was out at the time. Remember, when we did Hidden Colors, man, and the reason why we did it was because nothing out there was like that. And not only was nothing like Hidden Colors out there, all of the stuff that we were seeing in the media was extremely derogatory when it came to black people. We started doing Hidden Colors in 2010, came out in 2011. Remember, at the time, the movies that were popular were The Blind Side, The Help, The Butler, 12 Years a Slave. It was some of these slave movies and these movies of us just being brutalized, and we're in these subservient positions. And seeing that over and over, that messes with a group's psychology and your psyche. So I said, we have to counter this stuff.
Yeah.
We have to do a film about our history that's so bold and just goes there that it's going to counter all of that, and that's what we did with the Hidden Colors series.
Have you been receiving any awards for that whole series and stuff like that?
Never got an award, man. The Dominant Society, they try to act like it didn't exist. But
you done moved millions of copies.
Yes, indeed. And outsold some of their films on Amazon and other platforms. So they still try to act like that didn't happen, but then they get in Hollywood and use the term like Hidden Figures. They did a movie called Hidden Figures. That wasn't an accident. That wasn't an accident at all.
These motherfuckers. No, I'm with you on that. So now, with the Black Maroon documentary on the way, what's going on with that? Where we at with it?
Yeah, that's going to be our Black History Month, man.
Okay.
So we're finally done. We filmed a lot of it down here in Georgia. We filmed in Florida, and that's a good story that has never been told about some of our freedom fighters who actually fought their way off the plantations. And a lot of black people were running into the swamps in the woods of South Carolina, Georgia. This was a heavy place. In fact, and we talk about this in the movie, they had to make Georgia a state to stop so many Maroons from running back and forth from Florida, from the Carolinas, because they were whooping ass here, man. Heavy.
Come on.
And also we talk about the spirits that are still here in Georgia.
Yeah.
Lake Lanier, for example. That was a black town, Oscarville, that was flooded deliberately.
Exactly.
And there are a lot of dead black bodies under there, and that's why people say that place is haunted now, and all of these weird deaths happen at Lake Lanier all the time. But there are black towns that are underwater all over the country that people don't know about. So we talk about that in the film. It's a real heavy thing, man.
How deep are you getting into that? Because, when you think about it, nobody even knew what was going on at Lake Lanier for the longest, let alone that it was a black town up under the doggone lake, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
So doing your research and you starting to find out that, okay, we not only had Tulsa, but we had all of these other places as well, but they're up underwater. They didn't get bombed. They just got flooded out.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on that?
Man, it's a heavy thing. Not just the physical part of it, but just the spiritual part of it, because we got to understand there was a lot of Gullah Geechee influences here in Georgia because it's right next to the Carolinas.
Yeah.
And water carries spirits. You understand? That's why when somebody dies, we pour libations. Water carries a lot of spirits, man. The molecular structure of water. And when you have all of those bodies underwater and then you put that water on top of it and then people are getting in the water, you've heard people say that when they got into Lake Lanier, it felt like somebody was pulling them under. You understand? Some of the weirdest freak accidents happen at Lake Lanier. Somebody's just driving, then something just pushes their car into the water. So the spiritual energies are very, very real, brother.
That's crazy as hell right there as well. So, now moving forward with all of our people being involved, how do you feel being able to have a fan base that cannot be disrupted or destroyed, and then also being able to move outside of the dominant society as far as making your money and then also fulfilling the needs of the culture as well?
Well, there has to be a good balance, man, because I still do business with the dominant society. I still get endorsements for certain things, but I stay true to the base. I'm not going to do anything that's going to undermine my black base. And we have to respect the black base, man. For a long time, people looked at a black base as the Chitlin circuit. And we got to get off that.
Yeah.
Money is money.
Come on.
And real black support is the best support you can get, because it don't get no better. Look at Tyler Perry. His base is black. You can call that
$1 billion base.
Yeah, you can call it Chitlin all you damn want to. Tyler Perry's sitting on a damn a whole city, which is his house. So give me them chitlins.
Got a new one in Douglasville. He building too.
Yeah. We better stop that chitlin circuit stuff. We think that white ice is colder. No, man. We got our own people. We can present stuff to our own group and present it in a fly-ass way, man. Now
I got to bring it back to Deion, because that was the argument. Yeah. They were feeling like he was going for the white ice with this stuff. What did you think about it? What do you say to that?
Right. And a lot of people think, okay, he's going to Colorado because they're giving him $5 million. Yeah. Look, Deion did everything he was supposed to do out there in Jacksonville, in Florida. I mean, in Mississippi, in Jackson, Mississippi.
Yep.
Again, they should have made sure that he was good.
Yeah.
They should have made sure that he was good so that he would not have to go to the next folks.
Exactly.
They just should have made sure he was good. The bottom line, if somebody's bringing some good, tangible results to the community, to an HBCU, we make sure that they get the same type of money that they would get anywhere else.
Exactly. The Hidden History Museum, man.
Yes, indeed.
Got the building going and, you know, curating this thing as we speak.
Yes, indeed.
What's going on with that? And then also, you had some vandalism going on out there. What the hell was going on?
Yeah, man. So, you know, people ain't going to like that.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think some of the vandalism has something to do possibly with law enforcement, sending some folks out there, which is, you know, they do a lot of stuff like that in L.A. Law enforcement will have certain people vandalize businesses around South L.A., and then they'll put a nuisance injunction on the business. That's what they did to Nipsey. They would let a lot of stuff go down over there by the shop, and then they put a nuisance ordinance on Nipsey because they were trying to take his shop, and they were doing surveillance on Nipsey and the customers almost every day except the day he got killed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That type of nonsense. So there's a lot of funny style stuff going on, and that's why we have to respect our base, and we have to look out for each other and look out for our institutions.
Tariq, you fight to raise the money to buy the place. You get in the place and you're ready to do what you do, but then it's still another fight just to enjoy your facility, man. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Are you tired of having to go from fight to fight to fight, or what?
Unfortunately, that's where we are, man, because white supremacy is warfare. It's a warfare thing, and whenever we start doing good, the war intensifies. We have to understand that, and we have to be ready for that. And in a system of systematic white supremacy, we have to have a system of black empowerment. We have to have our own crew of people who's going to look out for each other, keep eyes out for each other to make sure we're good.
That's right.
So that goes back to Deion. Deion had a lot he was going up against. We have to make sure people like Deion are good. We have to make sure that they're satisfied. We have to make sure that they're comfortable. We have to make sure they're getting all the resources they need if they're going to put a school like that on the map and put HBCUs on the map.
Thanks.
Because that's what he was doing.
Yeah.
So all of the HBCUs need to capitalize off what Deion was doing and get other former athletes and have them come in and coach and make sure that they're papered up too.
Exactly. Now, I mean, in hip hop right now, Tariq, we got a lot of artists that are dying. It's getting to the point to where it's feeling like it's occurring every month in this thing.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about that, man?
I say this to rappers and people who are up.
Yeah.
You can't do the same things you used to do when you were not up.
Yeah.
That's what it boils down to. I know we want to keep it real. I know we want to seem like we're grounded.
Yeah.
But who you hang around is very important. If you hang around people who are not on the same level as you, a lot of times they're not going to be fans. See, we're used to people hanging around us and they're fans. They like our music, so they got the pom-poms. Yeah. We better understand everybody ain't waving a pom-pom. Somebody's waving a pistol because they're a hater because they ain't up.
Yeah.
They came from where you came from and you're doing better, so that makes them feel bad about themselves. So you can't be out here gambling with niggas you don't know. You just can't be doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
You got to have some decorum about who you hang around with, man. That's just the bottom line. You're going to have to upgrade your circles. You can't hang around with cats who don't have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
You dig?
Yeah.
Some of these cats who you're hanging around, don't nobody know him. He ain't got no rhymes he's writing. He ain't got nothing popping. He might be trapping or whatever, but this nigga ain't got nothing to lose. And taking you out is his claim to fame. You see? Yeah. So we have to understand who we hang around is very important.
Outside of the cultural stuff, I mean, are you going to give us any more relationship information to read?
Man, people been asking me to do the Mac lessons reloaded. They've been wanting me to do the Mac. I'm going to have to do that. I might have to do a Mac lesson because, you know, the relationship game, man, it's a different world out here now, and we have to upgrade. The last book I wrote about relationships, like almost 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And now there's so much that has changed as far as dating because of the internet now. So you got to move different, and you got to reinforce the importance of physical game, meaning you got to get in front of somebody and start spitting.
That's right.
So that they can feel your vibe and energy. All of this LOL bullshit ain't cutting it. That's why the relationships are so janky.
Come
now,
on, man.
Relationships have become too transactional because of the online thing.
Yeah.
Because everything we do is a transaction. We get online, we Getting a ride is a transaction. You call Uber. Getting food is a transaction. You call Postmates. Getting sexual access is a transaction. You dig? You're hitting up OnlyFans or you're calling a stripper. Everything is too transactional. The game ain't being reinforced, man.
Oh my
so we got to start getting dudes' mouthpiece crisp again.
What do you think that social media has done to the man-woman relationship, especially in our community? Because now, I mean, first of all, you can tell a man by his Explore page, okay?
Yeah, and see, the thing is with social media, that has allowed people to create fantasy lives about themselves. So now women can get online and post pictures and airbrush all of the blemishes. You dig? Just focus on their BBL. You don't know how her house looks. You don't know how the house smells. You don't know if she can cook or clean, but it's all facade. And dudes, he can post in front of cars. He can post the money phone and act like a baller so that he's created an online persona. So you have a lot of people just faking it online. And people are satisfied with just faking it online. I saw an interview where they asked a bunch of girls, what would you rather have, a long-term relationship or keep your Instagram account? What would you choose, Instagram or a long-term relationship? Almost all the women said Instagram.
My God.
Attention is better than a long-term relationship to a lot of people. You dig?
What do you think that's doing to the foundational Black Americans around here trying to have families? Do you think that's going to put a pause to the cause?
Man, that's why so many family relationships are kind of janky now, because people are just settling for these transactional relationships, and they're settling for just getting attention and making these little superficial hookups.
Exactly.
So, that's not going to work, man. We got to start getting family-based relationships going on out here again. That's why I like to put together events where people are networking with each other face-to-face, right in front of each other. We had the FBA convention out here in Atlanta a couple of years ago. Was a huge success. We're having another expo in Dallas, May 27th next year, where everybody's coming together to network, chop up game, talk about business, talk about relationships, and just be in the same room so we can just be with each other and feel each other's vibe.
Being that you've been in the game for a good little minute now, Tariq, what is some of the good advice that you can give to upcoming media moguls that want to do what you did? Because, see, what you did, Tariq, has not been done by many people.
Yes.
To be able to fund your business through crowdfunding, putting out awesome projects and stuff like that, and going directly to a niche audience and community and actually being able to be successful with that. Nobody's really able to do that.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yes, indeed.
So often, a lot of good ideas don't even get a chance to hit the public because they're waiting on the dominant society to acquire them. And it's like, well, hey, man, why don't you just go ahead and get out there? What was it that made you say, okay, this is the audience, I'm going to focus in on my people, and I'm going to raise this money, and I'm going to do it big?
Yeah. There's two things that I want to let my media guys out here know. Number one, and Beehive made a very good point. When I started doing movies, I was going to cater specifically to Black society, and what I was going to do, I was going to make the films comparative to what you see in Hollywood. That's very important. Because a lot of times what we do, we'll raise like $500,000 and put 20,000 in the movie and then ball out with the rest of the damn money. Let's stop that bullshit. As you can see, you look at my movies, you can tell every dime of whatever money we raise went in the movie, and more so.
Come on.
I spend like millions on my movies, and you can see it. Like 1804, that was a very expensive movie I did because we had to get real French-looking costumes. We had to shoot on location in Haiti back and forth. So it was worth it because the film made a lot of money. We have to give our Black audiences the same thing the dominant society is going to give them. That's why people can appreciate that we put so much effort in the movies and so much detail in the movies. Also, family, if you want to be a media mogul, a Black media mogul or an independent media mogul, stop depending on goofy-ass gimmicks in order to get your pages hot or your message hot. I can get hundreds of thousands of views on a regular basis. Whenever I do interviews, usually it's 100,000 plus. Without gimmicks. I don't do no damn gimmicks.
Come on.
I don't get into theatrics. I just chop up some real game with real cats like Beehive and others and just put the information out there, and people can respect the information. The truth is my damn gimmick.
Come on.
I don't have people fighting and beefing and all of that cornball nonsense. We got to stop that, because a lot of people think in order to form a media conglomerate or a media page, it has to be some kind of goofball controversy or something silly. Let's get off that. Give real pertinent information that the audience can use and grow from.
Exactly. Lastly, Tariq, what do you got to tell your fans before you get up out of here? How can they get those movies? And then also I wanted to ask you too, converting from DVD to digital, what was that like when that whole digital area came out of nowhere?
Yeah, man. It was cool. And what's funny, man, people are still getting DVDs and Blu-rays, which is funny. People are still getting them because people got PlayStations and Xboxes, and also people like to do screenings. And so they're still using Xbox and DVDs. We're selling them shits like just out the yin yang. But the digital thing is good too. We have an FBA stream site coming out in February, where we're going to stream all of our movies. So that's where you're going to be able to see the movie American Maroon. We're going to do a theatrical run around February too. So that's popping off. Also, again, we're having a big rally, not a rally, but an expo in DC, not DC, I'm saying all types, I got so much shit going on, in Dallas. We're having a big expo in Dallas, and I chose Dallas because Dallas is a slept-on city. A lot of progressive black folks there. I really like Dallas. So I want to get a lot of us together in Dallas to really network with each other. That's happening in May, and I keep people posted on that. We have a holiday, man. There's a foundational Black American holiday we're going to start celebrating on the 24th of December called Aretasese.
Okay, now.
Aretasese, that's the Black American Tut language word for arise, all right? Because we had our own language.
Yeah.
During slavery, we had something called Tut language that we would use to teach each other how to read and spell. And we just stopped using it over the years, but the language is still around. We're going to be celebrating that on December 24th every year. And the reason why we're celebrating it, because December and around the Christmas holiday, that's when a lot of our foundational Black American ancestors would choose to free themselves off plantations, because the plantation system was more laxed during the holidays. The slave owners and the overseers would be with their families. So a lot of us used the opportunity to free ourselves, to go up north, to go back down in Florida. Harriet Tubman did a lot of her freedom rides around December 24th, 25th. So we're going to be celebrating December 24th, the Aretasese Day. That's going to be the new Black American holiday. Because a lot of people feel a certain way about Kwanzaa. A lot of people don't really rock with it for a few reasons, because of the, it has a lot of foreign influences, African influences, which is cool, but a lot of us can't really relate to it. And also the guy who created it, his background has been kind of questionable. You know, Moringa, they talk about his FBI ties and all that. So that has turned a lot of people off from it. But we're going to be celebrating Aretasese. That's our own thing. One of the traditions and customs we're going to do is gift as many people books as possible. That's going to be a custom. Give people a book that will elevate their consciousness.
And with that being said, how can your fans contact you, Tariq?
Family, you guys can hit me up on Twitter at Tariq Nasheed. Hit me up on Instagram at Tariq Elite. Go to aretasese.com. Go to hiddencolorsfilm.com. And go to buckbreakingmovie.com. We're going to have to do a Buck Breaking 2, by the way, because there's so much. We'll talk about that next time, but Buck Breaking 2 is going to be coming pretty soon, too. So you guys stay tuned for that.
We'll be looking forward,
also, hiddenhistorymuseum.com. You guys can still contribute to the Hidden History Museum. That's going to be opening pretty soon, too.
I can dig it. Tariq, as always, man, appreciate you coming through this thing. Wish you nothing but the best and much success.
Yes, indeed.
Be High Radio shouted. Tariq Nasheed, holla at y'all in a minute, man. We gone.